Hey guys, I'm Emma and I'm telling you like it is, with a hint of sarcasm and a lot of overt exaggeration. So, this is a refresher course on how to drive. I may not drive in the same country as you do, but I feel like most of these are about common sense. If not, respect your local traffic laws, please. So, now, 13 things that you should know as a driver. 1. A stop sign is a stop sign. Yes, it is. A stop sign tells you to stop. Not to slow down, not to ignore it, not to speed up. Believe it or not, but that stop sign might be there for a reason, and you should be stopping. Shocker, I know. As a pedestrian, that stop sign might be giving me an actual chance of crossing the street without dying. Yay. Also, if you don't like stop signs, just please keep an eye out for them anyway. I know they aren't particularly flashy or sexy, but please, make an effort. I once had a man honk at me because he thought he had the right of way. When I pointed out to him his stop sign, he honked at me again, for even longer. Look, I wanted to tell him, I don't make traffic laws, I just try to follow them to get to work. And no, I don't work at the hospital, so I don't need siren lights and an ambulance escorting me there. But hey, while we're on the subject of honking, 2. Honking is for emergencies. Only. I don't know what romantic relationship some of you have with your horn, but I obviously don't share your fascination. I actually hesitate before using it. Look, let me demystify a few things for you. 1. Honking doesn't make people do things faster. It actually makes people freeze in surprise, then wonder what is going on, then make them focus on the road. That usually takes longer than them just focusing on the road to begin with. 2. Honking doesn't make traffic go away. Shocker, I know. 3. Honking doesn't make people go any faster. Same thing with tailgating. Are you hoping that the car in front of you suddenly brakes and you both get into an accident? Look, if I had a car, I'd want it in pristine condition. Till then, I borrow others' cars, and then I must keep it in pristine condition. You know what I'm talking about. 3. The rules of the road apply even if the police isn't around. I get that a police officer is a law enforcer, but the law shouldn't have to be enforced every single second of every single day for it to be respected. I get that some of you really want to make sure that law enforcers keep their jobs, but please, curb your enthusiasm and stay off my curb. Thank you. 4. Hitting things doesn't give you points. Some video games might look realistic, but life ain't always a video game. But hey, maybe you'll get points eventually. Demerit ones, that is. Now, onto a true story. I was walking home from the grocery store when I was watching this lady try to parallel park. She hit the parked car in front of her, then backed up, then hit it again, then backed up, then hit it again? Now, I'm not sure how many more times this happened because I wasn't about to just stand there and watch, but once was enough. Why did it happen 3 times in a row? Anywho, I hope she left a note of some kind. This brings us to 5. Parking isn't optional. You have a car, you should know how to drive and how to park. 1 car equals 1 parking spot. Simple math. That means your car should be between the 2 closest lines, not on top of all of them. Not only is this a piss off for fellow parkers, but remember, you could be towed, and towing is no bueno, let me tell you. Next. 6. You better know what you're doing on the highway. I really wish driver's test came with some sort of common sense test, but hey, I'd have to change careers to do that, I guess. Till then, the refresher course continues. Yay! So, rules of the road very much apply here, especially since cars are going much faster on the highway. Unless there's traffic, and then you might as well be traveling with a herd of turtles. Anyway, you can't back up a whole lot on a road, in a car, in general, right? Right, well, this applies on the highway, even if you took the wrong exit, even if you're a bus, even if... Wait, this is sounding oddly specific, right? Well, it specifically happened to me, and I did not appreciate it one bit. Again, I was just trying to get to work. 7. Drive with the weather. If it's snowy, slow down. If it's foggy, slow down. If it's hailing, raining, sunny, slow down. Why? Because a lot of you could afford to slow down for safety and sanity's sake. I get you want to get home faster, but the goal is to get home. Remember that. 8. A one-way is a one-way. You'd think that just by its name, it would be fairly self-explanatory. But hey, logic appears to be optional, especially in this day and age. Did I say that? Oops. So, if you live on a one-way street, you suck, but you're gonna have to go the right way, just like the rest of us. Now, the only one who can bend that rule is me. When the police isn't watching. I'm kidding. Please don't report me. Look, it's just not an optional thing. I get that you wish that it was, but that's not how life works. Like, I wish taxes were optional, but don't we all? And yes, I do get that you pretending it isn't a one-way is convenient. Look, if I drove with only convenience in mind, I'd request a hovercraft. There are helicopters. Could one of you just buy me one and send it to... Nope, not trusting you guys with my address. But hey, my landlord doesn't have a no helicopter parking rule. I do love how seriously I'm considering this. 9. Read signs. Who knew? 10. Don't hang out in someone's blind spot, unless you're all stuck in traffic. No, but seriously, unless you love free, abstract, custom bodywork done to your car, I don't recommend it. I have, coincidentally, similar advice to pedestrians. Saving a few seconds at a light by jaywalking isn't worth giving me and you a heart attack. And also hitting you might not cause auto body damage, but might well cause human body and psychological damage. To both of us. Just putting that out there. 11. The smaller the vehicle, the more they have the right of way. Kind of makes sense, no? Less padding equals more attention and care. Look, this kind of goes back to the point I was just talking about. If a pedestrian decides to run into traffic, I won't be happy, but I'll try not to squish them, I guess. Same thing with a bicyclist, a kid running after their soccer ball, a person on a scooter, on a motorcycle. They may have little to no respect for road signs, right of way, time and place, or basic logic. But hey, I don't believe you should just take justice into your own hands and scare them more than they've scared themselves. Especially in the case of a kid who then usually gets admonished by their parent. Usually. 12. Abrupt braking. Look, this really pisses me off. We both exist in a world, on a street, where that light turns red at the same moment for everyone. Why do I give plenty of time to the person behind me, and you don't? Just because you wish it was in red doesn't mean it'll spontaneously change when you get to it. Also, don't you care about your car? Not only are you abusing your brakes and gas, you're risking me giving you some trunk bodywork. And honestly, the tool I'd be using isn't known for its precision. Not that you'd want me to use more precise tools, as I'm totally not a mechanic, but hey, you get the picture. But seriously, you're moving around in a vehicle that's about 20 times heavier than you are. Shouldn't you be focusing on keeping that thing on the road and off of yourself or someone else? Look, the glass in the mirrors weren't some kind of aesthetic, architectural embellishment. Or meant to make sure you look pretty for work. Or, control your local bug population through your very own mobile speeding flytrap. Let's take a second of silence to mourn all those little lives which lifespans would have spanned a few more seconds longer, I guess. Moving on. 13. Be interpretable. Look, this isn't the time for an interpretive dance. Use those flashing lights that are supposedly functional, pick a lane, slow down gradually. You can be as non-committal as you want in your personal relationships, but your car relationship should be built on stability, honesty, and reliability. I should get the impression that you're a fellow responsible driver who honestly just wants to get to point B without undue drama. Look, leave your drama to other people who aren't me. Please and thanks. 14. Be lenient. Now, here's where I kind of contradict myself. I couldn't be too consistent, could I? Remember when you were a driving student? I do. My first time driving was right after a car accident. So I drove around with my mom in our neighborhood. Well, drove around is maybe a bit of a stretch, as I refused to touch the gas pedal, so we just legitimately coasted at 0 km/h for 15 minutes. Hey, I did get behind that wheel, and I was terrified every single moment, while my mom was probably bored out of her mind. Look, maybe I'm not the standard example of a student driver, but think that the person in front of you could very well be one, and try to be understanding. Or just pass them ASAP. So, full disclosure, I write this after not driving for a whole year. But hey, if you want, I can be an excellent backseat driver. Just be my free chauffeur. If you love my hypocrisy, give me a like or subscribe, and tell me below what causes your road rage. Thanks, guys.